Good evening, and welcome back to the Homestuck Epilogues. Welcome Sneak Cat, welcome anyone else viewing anonymously. It sure has been a weekend. Yes, it is Sunday night once again. Yeah, not a heck of a lot to update. Fundraiser that I did on Saturday went well, so that was real nice. We raised a lot of decent amount of money there. And yeah, I got to connect with some of my coworkers from my summer job who I haven't seen basically since last summer. It was really great to get caught up with them and meet up and chit chat. And yeah, that was that. Today I slept in way too late. Oops. And now I'm here. So that's kind of it from my end of things. Yeah, not a whole lot else to add. We're gonna be making up for the 40-minute diversion yesterday and just jump right on into Meet Chapter 39, which is going to be a small bit of an unpleasant experience, I think. I have not personally read this chapter since I finished reading the epilogues for the first time. But this is the one where Dirk goes to Jake's mansion and steals a rocket ship and is basically like completely rips Jake apart. And I don't like it. So, there's that. Yeah, so let's go. I'm inside Jake's mansion. Oh, whoops. I forgot to say the chapter number. Oh, speaking of saying chapter numbers and things, that reminds me of making the timestamps for the next video. Friday's stream will go up on YouTube like tonight, probably right after I finish stream. Honestly, it's been uploaded for like an entire day, but I just need to do the tags in the description. Oh, fucking the thumbnail. I need to make the thumbnail for that too. But yes, that will be going up on YouTube shortly. It should already be up if you are watching this on YouTube. 39. I'm inside Jake's mansion. It's just as idiotically garish as the last time I saw it. There was once a time I swore I'd never set foot in here again, for various reasons I won't get into. Jake is the type of guy who makes you say stuff like that. But he's also the type who reminds you to never say never. Here I fucking am again in this useless dickhead's dime store McMansion, but only because I need one of his ships. Rose is still asleep from the drugs. I put her on that monstrous overstuffed velvet couch over there. My guy Squarewave is here too. I need his help today because there's a lot of cargo to wrangle. He's wheeling something around on a hand truck. Something about the height of Rose, roughly Rose-shaped and wrapped in cloth. I know she's going to love it the first time she sees it, but the only way she'll be able to do that is when she's awake and looking in a mirror. Jake owns Skyanet, a company which, among many other things, manufactures spaceships. They do a stiff business selling these rigs, especially with all the new military contracts the Crocker administration has been handing out. Big yikes on that one. If it weren't for his connection to a good supply of quality starcraft, I'm honestly not sure I'd even bother stopping by before leaving. I'd have to think about it. Yeah, we're friends, I suppose, but there really isn't much I have to say to this guy anymore. But as long as I'm here, I have to confess I've been mulling over a few choice remarks to let him chew on while I'm gone. I didn't tell him I'd be coming. That would be a scene. He'd prepare too much. Roll out the red carpet, so to speak. Suggest plans, stammer nervously, throw on something a bit more skin-hugging than usual. I may have already mentioned, but I'm a bit too deft at this for my own good. doing the thing where I tug at the part of someone's latent thought process that already knows they adore me. If someone would just pull the stops from their sense of inhibition, they'd realize they would do anything for me. Wow, that's fucking awful. Though I could be overselling my methods of persuasion while shortchanging my natural aura of charisma and dashing good looks. Maybe I'm just that fucking charming. There are times when I actually do manage to underestimate my positive qualities, believe it or not. No, you're horrible and obnoxious, actually. Normally, corralling Jake's attention is like greasing up your whole naked body and tackling a shrieking hog on rocket skates. There's always a part of his mind that was conflicted about me. Intrigued, titillated, wary. But now he's just plain obsessed. That wasn't really what I was going for, but hey, with political warfare comes collateral damage. It's harmless enough, anyway. It's not like I gave him a sick scar or anything that would hurt his value as a priceless sexual commodity. The only thing it affected was his brain. It's a bit like if someone hacked a comment section. Who gives a shit? You're a horrible person. Yeah, it's harmless. It's harmless. I'm just leaving him with psychological scars that are going to exist long after I'm gone. That's fine, right? Dirk! I glance up the stairs, where he's standing on the precipice overlooking the foyer. Yeah, he definitely wasn't expecting company. He's completely nude, except for a pair of boxers with a pattern of green skulls, pistols, and some shapes that are maybe supposed to be pot leaves. He blunders down the stairs at top speed, runs over, and gives me a huge bro hug, making my spine pop. God, he's so fucking strong. I hate that brief feeling of being crushed by his oath. Oh, whoops, I forgot that line was there. That kind of threw me off guard. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna have a sip of water before we continue. Yeah, that line is a lot to take in. So I guess I'll try that again. I hate that the brief feeling of being crushed by this oath makes my dick twitch slightly. Hey, Jake. Well, isn't this a heap of what the fuck? Shillalophs? Shillalophs. I think that's it. Right? Well, isn't this a heap of shillalophs and shamrocks? I had no idea you had plans to visit my humble abode. To swing about the old manor du chat anglais, as they say. That's... what? That's 3 different fucking languages. Yeah, I think that's 3 languages, and I don't know what he's trying to say with that. So what brings you here, pal? I seem to recall the last time we were bumming about the Rumpus Cabana, you swore some sort of blood oath you'd never set foot in here again with one of your customary dramatic flourishes. Yeah, well, I meant it at the time. Let's just leave it at that. Oh, okie doke. Gosh, it's so good to see you. So good. He's gently stroking the side of my arm now, making no effort to disguise his interest in the contour of my muscles. I used that arm to put a hand on his shoulder in an affable way, so he's forced to stop. Listen, man, you got a spare spaceship lying around? We're going on a trip. I nod over in the direction of the couch. Jake's eyebrows shoot up. Oh, I didn't even notice Rose was here. Wow, she looks really zonked. Bad hangover, I presume? Hold the phone. Wasn't she supposed to be off the sauce? Or is that not a thing anymore? It's not a hangover. She's just tired. No, she's drugged, 'cause you're a garbage man. Can you help us out? You're gonna mute? Okay. That's fair. Yeah, this goes in not nice directions. Not nice places. Of course, mate. I've got frickin' scads of the things lying around. Prototypes, top-secret experimental models, Galaxy-class ball-busters dog-eared for the white shirts in the government. In the government? In the government. Is that supposed to be short for government? They pay some tidy coin for all this industrial military what's it, you know. I grit my teeth, focusing on breathing steadily. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Anything, really. Something fast. Fast? We can do fast. He scurries over to a new money-looking Baroque antique cabinet. Oh. Whoops. Yeah, I forgot. I don't know. What did it specifically about, like, the explicit comments about their junk? That makes me, like to use their language anyway, you know, that kind of, like, sits weird with me. I think I talked about this in a previous stream a while ago. Yeah. I'm just kind of like, I guess it's got something to do with, like, it just, like, genitals in Homestuck have, whether it's been, like, they've always been kind of, like, treated with a certain ambiguousness, and I kind of liked it that way, that there was no kind of, like, ultra explicit character saying, yes, this character has this, because it wasn't really, like, an important thing. It still kind of isn't really. Yeah. I guess this just isn't quite what I expect from Homestuck proper. But also, this isn't Homestuck proper. This is the fucking epilogues, and they're a goddamn mess. Which I say in a, not in a, malicious way. There's just a lot happening here. He scurries over to a new money-looking Baroque antique cabinet, his ample junk swinging about in his loose boxers, free as a jaybird. He opens a small door and rifles through a stack of stray papers and capture log cards. Ah, here's one. Ought to do you splendidly. Thanks, bro. I take it. We're almost through this dirty little bit of business. I know there's more, though. There always is with him. In fact, here it comes. I can smell it a mile away. I know exactly what he's about to say, and the buoyant obliviousness with which he'll say it. So, where are we going? Yeah, I thought this misunderstanding might happen. My bad, man. Wasn't that clear up front. We aren't going anywhere. It's just me and Rose on this trip. Oh, I see. Well, when you live the married life, I suppose from time to time one must get away from the old ball and chain one way or another. No, that's just a straight people thing. So it's a stag night of sorts, in space, with a gay girl instead of a fella. And not me. Yes. Jake falls quiet for a moment as his pitiful pea-brain struggles to process the shocking information. Shut the fuck up, Dirk. Okay, we're halfway through this chapter. Yeah, this one is kind of a tough one to get through. I really don't like any of this. Gadzooks! Well, say no more then. So, how long will you be away? Does Kanaya know about all of these shenanigans? Yes, we've discussed it. She's okay with it. She is not okay with it. You're just a slimeball motherfucker. Woo, good to see there's no trouble in paradise. They've always had the most lovely marriage. On the other hand, you know how those dames can be. Ugh. He shakes his fist to demonstrate whatever bad point he's making. There are times, let me tell you how I feel like I... There are times, let me tell you how I feel like I dodged a bullet by not jumping the matrimonial broom with Jane. I love her to death, obviously, and I'd do fucking anything for her, especially now that she's El Presidente. I don't think that's the correct use of the squiggly line that I can't remember the name of. because the correct pronunciation for that would in that case be Elprizadate, because that's, kind of makes the like a Y sound. I really don't think that's supposed to be there. Then again, I also don't speak Spanish, but I am fairly certain that is not a correct use of that grammatical tool, so to speak. Cripes. Oh boy, sometimes I can hardly believe that sounds, but... Cripes. Oh boy, sometimes I can hardly believe how that sounds, but it sure is what happened, isn't it? Partly thanks to a humdinger of a speech by yours truly, but wow, never mind that, old saw. What I'm saying is, I don't know what I'm saying. We guys need to stick together sometimes and live our lives and not, well, play such ornamental roles in the lives of our important and powerful womanly counterparts, dear to us though they be. I think maybe I'm saying we should hang out more, Dirk. No pressure, I mean. When you get back from your extraterrestrial camping trip, of course. When did you say you were coming back? So, like, this whole speech is just a testament to how much Dirk has, like, psychologically fucked up Jake's brain. Like, we don't get a look at it because we don't really see Jake after this scene in the epilogues in Meet. But, like, even without Dirk's presence, it's like, what's gonna happen to Jake? I mean, well, I don't know. We got, like, a brief glimpse of it during the Callie section of the epilogues, right? Or the Callie section of Meet, where Dirk's presence is no more, and Jake kind of makes a pretty decent bounce back from it. And he pretty well immediately is, like, taking back control of, like, his own, like, actions and agency, and his own thoughts and opinions. Like, that happens fairly quickly. I mean, okay, there was some sweet talking by Dave and Carcat, but that would have done jack shit fuck if Dirk was still in control in that moment. But because Dirk wasn't in control, Jake kind of made up his own mind to be like, you know what? I'm going to endorse you. So, yeah. But either ways, this whole paragraph speaks to, like, just what Dirk is up to here. Just how badly he's, like, emotionally scarring Jake. Because regardless of bounce back, these are still going to have been things that Jake felt because of Dirk, right? And they'll still feel like real emotions that happened to him. And he'll still be very scarred from this. And I'm mad at Dirk, but what else is new? He's sweating, more nervous than I've ever seen him before. Stammering, desperate. I need to be brutally direct with this poor guy. Enough's enough. I won't be coming back, Jake. His mouth is hanging open, not a shred of restraint in his crestfallen posture, but he needs to hear this. All of it. Like, wait, you aren't coming back. Ever. Ever? Yeah, but I don't... Why, Dirk? The tears are starting to come. His composure is breaking. He's staring intently at my face, as if trying to drink in every precious moment of what he knows in his heart will be the last time we ever see each other. He takes in every drop of light reflecting from my beautiful face. The sculpted cheekbones, the warrior's eyebrows, the deadly serious yet exquisitely kissable mouth. Don't flatter yourself, you piece of fucking garbage. This is the face he lives for now. A visage that, in mere minutes, will vanish from his life forever. The tears drop. His voice cracks. Please take me with you, Dirk. I can't do that, Jake. It's not within the parameters of the mission. But What mission? I can't do this alone, Dirk. This life, this... whatever is happening now, whatever is expected of me, I can't do it. Not without you. He's only making you think that, Jake. You can do it. You're gonna have to, man. Jane needs you now more than ever. She has a tough road ahead. It's hard running a planet, but she'll whip it into shape. I trust her, and so should you. But... She needs you at her side. If all goes well, she'll rule Earthsea for millions of years, and you'll be critical to that reign. Yeah, this is a big yikes, because, like, this is basically, and I mean, this is essentially what happens in Meat, plus Gamzee is there. But Jane's whole Crocker tier conversation with Jake about making him, like, her pet so that she can just pump out babies and, like, have him sit and look pretty. And, like, we saw in the fucking comic just how upset that made him. I mean, like, of course it would make him upset. But, you know, and here he is bringing all of that back up to the surface. Dirk, I mean. But I don't know what to do, Dirk. I don't know how to help someone rule. I wouldn't know the first thing about strategy or advising or policy or... I almost burst out laughing, but I managed to control myself. Jake, nobody wants you to do any of that. Well, I know Jane sure doesn't. Then, what? You'll just be, you know, her candy boy? Candy boy? Yeah, being on call. Serving a multi-million-year term of giving her the right kind of presidential action she needs to keep going, to keep her morale up and such, to provide her with many heirs. Doesn't that sound cool? Heirs? Yeah, like kids. A lot of them. Think about it. You could have thousands of kids. They'll all grow old and die because they aren't god tiers like both of you are. But you just keep having more. Sounds pretty badass to me. Like getting to live through your entire future family tree. To watch your own endlessly branching dynasty flourish. I'm almost a little jealous. Yeah, 'cause you're fucking... massive egomaniacal bullshit person. Sometimes words don't work, but I'm sure y'all know what I mean, right? Like, this is not good. No! That sounds dreadful! Dirk, please! I glance at a clock on the wall. This needs to end soon. There are a lot of important things still to be done, and this sure isn't one of them. Time to man up, Jake. This is what your life is now. It's only bad if you treat it it's only bad if you treat it this way. It's actually fantastic. Someday you'll get it. No, Dirk, I can't bear to let you go. You've meant so much to me my whole life. I probably did a bad job of showing that because I'm such a shitty, blubbering, fucking numbnut idiot. You are not. Like, you know what? There's a lot to be said about Jake as a character. And whether or not he's a complete idiot is, like, ongoing fandom debate. But I am 130% against this kind of blunt, self-deprecating comments. Like, Like, he's made some mistakes, much like every single other Homestuck character. This comment is not warranted. And it fucking hurts to see him saying these kinds of things about himself. And it's also because it's influenced by Dirk and Dirk's opinion of him. Because Dirk is so ass deep in Jake's mind and all the fucking manipulation bullshit. Oh, hello, Aleph. Welcome. We really are in it now. We're on chapter 39 of Meat. And it's getting deep and dark and making me upset. But yes, that comment would probably apply to pretty much anywhere in the epilogues. But yes. Welcome, welcome. I missed seeing your face around here. You haven't been able to hang out for a while. You don't think I know I'm a fucking bonehead who no one respects? But, see, this is the important part to think. Like, Jake knows that no one respects him. Like, he knows that he's nothing but a mantelpiece to a lot of people. Like, which is super fucked up. But you're all I have to keep me anchored to any feeling of true self-worth I ever had. Oof. No, Dirk is not the person you want to attach that to. I mean, you shouldn't attach that to any external source, really. You taught me so much. Remember the old days in Spurb, Dirk? Oh, those days were the absolute bee's knees. Jesus Christopher Clowncock, Dirk! Well, that sure is a word. You taught me about combat, philosophy, life, love. Love, Dirk! I'm so bad with feelings. I never said it when we were together, but I love you, Dirk! I love you! There, I said it! I love you! I've never loved anyone so much in my whole life! Why is this specifically a recurring phrase? Because this comes up, this isn't just in meat. This comes up a lot in reference to Dirk in candy as well. I'm not looking at the screen, but oof, yeah. We're almost done, Sneak Cat. I mean, I guess it's kind of useless to say that out loud because you have the stream muted right now, but we're almost done, I promise. He waits a second for a response, but my face doesn't move a muscle. He won't dare waste this momentum, though. He threw in the penny. Here comes the pound. Dirk, I'm begging you to just take me with you. It's fine. You don't have to love me. I'm okay with that. Whatever you want. I just need to be with you. Near you. Anything. I can't stay here. Please, not without you. I want to be anywhere but here, as long as it's with you. He explodes into tears. A sloppy volcanic eruption of mucus, ugly noises, and the tatters of a bared soul. He begins slumping to the ground, but I grab his shoulders roughly and lift him up with a violent jerk. I look into his eyes furiously. My glare is incinerating. It halts his infantile wailing like a cranky baby somewhere just got tossed into the vacuum of space. He's scared. No, terrified of being left with no one who truly cares for him, of the magnitude of his raw, perilously unearthed feelings. But most of all, right here, right now, he's terrified of me. So, this is bad. There's a lot of... Oh, where do I even start with this paragraph? Okay. So, of being left with no one who truly cares for him. Because Dirk is fucking with his head, making him think that Dirk is the only person. But that's not true. And all of his friends care about him so fucking much. I mean, Jane is debatable at this point. Because there's some fuck shit happening there. But Roxy cares so much. And Jade and John is dead. But there's so many people who care. Callie. So many people who care so much about him. Dirk is not that person. Nowhere near that person. Not in this timeline. Not in this moment. Also, this is a really bad... Because then he kisses him. And it's like you kissing someone when they're terrified. That's... Wah! That was almost a Waluigi noise. Sorry, I've been watching I watched a couple of videos of a Smash today, so that's on the brain. God, there's a lot wrong happening here. I pull him close with all of my strength, flush to my body, wrap my arms around him to cradle the back of his head in my calloused palm, and I kiss him. It's the softest kiss I've ever given. My lips yield in a way that feels to him impossibly, miraculously forgiving. Like cannonballing into a frozen lake, only to discover it's not frozen at all. It's not even water. It's a sheet of 1,000 layers of silk. It's a pool of 1,000,000,000,000 discrete, tiny, shimmering beads of chilled mercury. It's the final, gentle exhale of the most beautiful symphony ever played. It's the soothing, mythically rumored oasis where the satyrs and nymphs once took pleasure and together forged the very concept of comfort we understand today. It lasts a fleeting moment. 2 ticks of the clock over there. 2 ticks longer than anyone will ever kiss him like that again. 2 ticks longer than he ever deserved. I move my hands up to his face, and with my palms on his wet cheeks, I gently push his head about 6 inches away from my face and say, "I'm sorry, Jake, but I'll never let you break my heart again." Abruptly, I turn and walk to the couch. I pick up Rose, not at Square Wave. He springs into action, pushing the hand truck out the door. Without looking back, I follow and slam the door behind me. R.I.P. Dirk Jake. Yeah, like when I was reading this, honestly, there was so much fucked up stuff happening, but forefront of my brain was, oh my god, Dirk Jake fans, I am so fucking sorry. Because, wow, holy shit. Yeah. I'm trying to think of, there were particular, ways that I read that people had of, wording Dirk's thought process behind this situation that kind of made a lot of sense to me, but I can't quite remember exactly what those descriptions were. It's he doesn't, yeah, he's just really not emotionally coping with this breakup well at all. 40. Okay. Oh, and this is a short one too. Shit, we might actually finish meat tonight. Alright. Sneak Cat, we're finished. I know that you are not. Here, let me see. What if I ping you on Discord? Okay, there you are. Okay, cool. I was trying to, Discord is being weird. I was going to ping you on Discord. Hello. Yes, we are done with that upsetting chapter 2, and we are here on chapter 40, which is a short one, which I believe is the one where Jade wakes up. 40. Kanaya Miriam is single and ready to mingle. Alright, not really, but she's coping admirably with the sudden departure of her beloved spouse. She's doing her best not to think about it. That's how you get past something. Just put it out of your mind, train your thoughts on a hopeful future, and stop dwelling on the many little micro-failures in your past that all added up to a doomed marriage. There were no micro-failures leading to a doomed marriage. It was just one big failure by the name of Dirk Strider. She's looking directly ahead, chin up, taking firm, confident strides. The heels of her designer shoes click loudly on the hospital linoleum. She grips the antidote I left her in both hands as she scans the hall for the room number she got from the front desk. She hears Roxy's voice before she sees the number and follows the sound. She enters the room. There's Jade, still as a corpse, propped up slightly in her bed as the adjacent heart monitor beeps gently. Roxy is sitting next to her in a chair, still looking every bit the slick and cool dude he's presenting as these days. Nice. Yeah, Dirk's, super overcompensating on, the way that he talks about Roxy. Oh shit, I had a thought. Where did it go? Yeah, I feel like it speaks to his own insecurities, and it's kind of funny, only in that there's multiple points in dialogue where he's making fun of people for trying to quote unquote sound woke or whatever, but in the meantime he's super overcompensating in his own narrative descriptions of Roxy. There's nobody else in the room. I guess he was talking to Jade? That's very kind, but she can't hear you, Roxy. She'll be able to soon enough, though. And when she does, you'll probably want to be the one listening to what she has to say. Oh, hey. Hello. How is she? Sleeping? I don't know. Yes, I see. I brought this. What's that? Kanaya pops the cap off the EpiPen-style delivery mechanism for the antidote and jabs it into Jade's arm. Her hands twitch a bit, and her body begins to stir. Her mouth opens a crack and lets out a barely audible whimper. Yeah, I love how she's Roxy's just what's that? And Kanaya's just does not even verbally answer. She's just here, let me stab Jade without telling you anything about what's happening here. I'm just gonna stab her. She opens her eyes quite wide, and suddenly, her bright green irises dart around the room, trying to solve the riddle of her present location. Roxy peers intently through his shades to get a better look. They're Jade's same old eyes, playful and intelligent, but they seem different somehow. These are eyes that have seen so much more than they had last time they were open. Yeah, this is... Jade's been getting... I guess... Yeah, because Jade is not possessed by Alt Cali right now. But that possession may have imparted her with some of the knowledge that Alt Cali had, despite the fact that they are not connected like that anymore. Team Oppress Dirk. Fuck yeah. Fuck yes. Team Oppress Dirk. Fuck that guy. Yeah. In the words of the wise Kanaya Miriam, just fuck that guy. Jade! OMG, Jade, you're awake. How you feeling? Jade stares at Roxy. If she mistakes him for Dave, it isn't for long. She hears the beeping next to her, glances out the window. This is a hospital room, she understands now. Her mind races, sifting through the overwhelming amount of information that became available to her the moment her trance began. The scope of her awareness, she now understands, is truly staggering. Memories are suddenly accessible that are almost impossible to believe. Some of them are unspeakably marvelous to her. Others, deeply disturbing. No, more than just disturbing. She lingers in the dark recesses of her consciousness. There were things she saw, things she was told. Her mouth twists into a silent snarl. She's been angry plenty of times before, but never so angry that she stopped being cute. She is not cute this time. She starts breathing harder, belligerently pushing air from her nostrils. The beeping doubles its pace. Her eyes are wide, no longer sizing up the room, but calculating the true extent of the turbulent rage coursing through her body. Her brows crease sharply, and her nose wrinkles as her upper lip rises and quivers. And then it hits her. She knows exactly why she's feeling this way. She bolts upright from her bed and shouts, "Dirk Strider has to be stopped!" Just an endless progression of shitty clown tunes. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. 41. She's right, of course. I do have to be stopped. Right, this is where Dirk is explaining all of his motives, and there's a lot to talk about in this chapter. Not because I'm really that bad. I mean, I don't think I am. I'll understand if there are those who disagree. If my agenda was to try as hard as I could to make sure no one thought I sucked, what the fuck would ever get done? How would I go about taming this world, or shaping reality for the better? And if I don't bother pursuing those goals, and thereby tacitly accepting the untold suffering that resulted from my inaction, wouldn't that make me a bad person? If I try and succeed, I'm a hero, right? And if I try and fail, at least I made things interesting on my way to the grave. There would be a tragic nobility in that. And the way I see it, settling for anything less for my arc would be, frankly, pathetic. So yeah, of course I know I have to be stopped. It's part of the contract. What you sign up for when you assume the burdens of this sort of power. Where there is that which must be subdued and suborned for the greater good, there is that which will instinctively resist. That which intuits that whatever's going on here is wrong. Otherwise, intervention wouldn't even be necessary, would it? If reality and those within it were already so intrinsically pliable, so amenable to deviating from their own nature, the sins of men and faults of God would have no rigidity or resilience. There'd be no challenge in forcing their correction, no reward in ramming salvation down their throats. I know this isn't coming cheap, what I'm trying to do. The cost of it is knowing I need to be stopped. I accept it consciously, and when the time comes, if it comes, I'll offer myself up gladly. But I'm not a fool. I know what accepting this cost really means through an objective narrative faculty. No matter how I rationalize things, how grandly I orate my supreme designs, or how indulgent and self-obsessed my concluding soliloquy may come across, I'm perfectly aware of what I've become in all practical ways. I am the villain now. It's gotten impossible for me to see this result as anything but inevitable from the day I was spawned from a puddle of slime. I want to be a good person. I believe I am a good person. But when you're someone like me, good is never going to be quite good enough. The problem is, I think power like mine can only make antagonistic intent unavoidable. Who could wield such control over people's choices in the course of events without ultimately becoming the enemy of anyone who notices? Maybe only a stronger person than I could manage to pull it off. Someone like Dave. So when I say I know I need to be stopped, I guess it's more than just accepting my end of a diabolical bargain. I know I need to be stopped because I'm sure deep down, somewhere inside my infinitely recursive sense of self, I know what's going on here is all just a little bit sick. To be honest, I'd consider killing myself and sparing reality all the trauma from the jump. I mean, a legit suicide, not one of those melodramatic faux suicidal plays for attention, sympathy, or Jake's dick. But to really do it for keeps? For a truly selfless purpose? Nah, too cowardly for that. Too afraid to stop existing for good. Wouldn't you be if you were me? I guess therein lies the problem. If I weren't me, obviously I'd consider myself much less indispensable. Only worthless people permit themselves to the great luxury of a valorous sacrifice. When the deed is done, what was really lost? It's like the guy in the mailroom quitting in a self-righteous huff. Who the fuck were you again? No, when the sense of self is so substantial, when the fate of everything turns on every vain whim of an ego this sprawling, this entrenched in the very medium that contains all else, there's a certain existential sunk cost that goes with the whole deal. A persona that vast doesn't just self-terminate. It won't allow itself to. That's why when someone finally comes knocking for the price I owe, I'll fully welcome it. But then it'll have been a long time coming, and I'll probably have done more than my share to make sure somewhere along the way it all got put into motion. What good is a villain who doesn't have a satisfying dramatic comeuppance in store for him? So yeah, the next time I die, let's pencil it in as a just death. And let's also have it on good authority that the next time Dave cuts my head off, it'll be for good. I'll be looking forward to that day just as much as the next guy. wow, okay. Yeah, there's multiple points to bring up here. I decided to just kind of keep the flow going and, like, continue talking through it, but, like, yeah, basically, what he's saying here is that he's gladly accepted the role as a villain in order to keep Homestuck relevant. And he thinks so little of himself. Like, it's really sad, you know, having known, like, the character of Dirk for so long, and, you know, thinking back to all of his conversations, you know, with the other alpha kids, and saying, you know, that he's never really thought that he was a good guy, or that was a possible thing for him. You know, that constantly lingering fear that it's inevitable for him to become like Bro was. You know, he's taken this feeling of inevitability and just completely fallen into it as it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, he doesn't believe that he is ever capable of good. He believes that it is inevitable for him to become a bad person, so he just falls right into it, because it's almost like he's feels like it's so inevitable, he's given up on trying not to. And another thing I noticed that I found interesting is this line here where he says, you know, maybe someone else could handle these powers for good. Someone like Dave. You know, this whole... It actually kind of reminds me of I believe it's Act 5, Act 2. Or maybe it's Act 4. But when Dirk has that conversation where he says, you know, like, I'm not a hero. John is, my bro is, but I'm not. I feel like it kind of echoes that same sentiment of, like, I'm not a good person. Dave is, but I'm not. Like, that sort of like familial kind of comparison. And it's just like, yeah, just this whole thing just speaks to how little he really thinks of himself. And, you know, how he's like, yeah, like, I might as well just kill myself. And it's like, whoa, like, that's a lot. I mean, that's what he ends up doing in the Candy timeline. Like, yeah, exactly. Dave's whole, like, that whole conversation where Dave was like, I'm not a hero. You know, like, John is my bros, but I'm not. And it's like, thematic connections. But yeah, I mean, it's like, this I find interesting as well, because this also makes me think back to another conversation. It makes me think back to Dirk's conversation with the autoresponder, with Lil Hal, where Dirk is standing there grasping the glasses in his hands, cracking the screens, and the AR is like, I'm afraid to stop existing, aren't you? It's such a powerful conversation, and this immediately made me think of that. Yeah, and just, you know, the true feelings coming out here, and you find out that, like, like, all of that self-aggrandizing, egotistical talk is really a lot of overcompensation for how he really feels about himself. Which I mean, just from personal experience, thinking about it now, is actually, I think, kind of a common thing with depression, especially for people who don't want other people to know how they're really feeling and that they're really experiencing this, is this overcompensation, like this expressed overcompensation for negative feelings. And it's just like, oof, ouch. There's like a lot, yeah. Because as much as this whole time, all the way through this stream, I've been like, fuck this guy. Dirk has no rights. Dirk, yeah, like, fucking Friday night stream. We're just like, yeah, Dirk's gonna die tonight. By our hands, collectively. Reading this still strikes a very specific chord and, like, hurts a lot. Whew. Okay. So. I'm gonna have some water, and then we'll do chapter 42. Oh my. Yeah, that is quite dark, Aleph, yeah. Yeah, suicide by proxy. I guess that is kind of what he was doing with AR, isn't it? Oh, that just the phrasing, putting it that way just makes that scene hurt even more than it already did. Oh, wow. Yeah, Dirk is a very complex character. Okay. On a slightly lighter note, I mean, this conversation is them all coming to their senses, so, like, one could say that it's a lighter note. Okay. Right, because this is Power Team. The Hella Power Team going to get Rose back and fuck shit up. So, Dirk needs to be stopped from doing what again? Everything! Whatever he's trying to do right now! Like, woof, this is going to be hard to explain. Are you sure, Jade? After all, he is the one who provided me with the medicine that just woke you up. He did? Yes, that's a typo. That should be capitalized. Yeah, Roxy running down the street with Jade and Kanaya. Let's go, lesbians, let's go! Jade makes you smile. Yeah, Jade makes me smile too. I love her so much, and I'm still mad that she got totally shafted in the epilogues. Like, she basically spent the entire time being either asleep or being possessed, which is also kind of how Act 6 of Homestuck went. What do you know? Or late Act 6, anyway. We got some Game Over Timeline ship journey conversations, but, yeah. Mood, but yeah. I love Jade so much. Floral Marsupial does the best Jade meta ever in their comics. Yes. Huh. Okay, but he's the one who shot me in the first place. He what? Why would he do that? He needed me to be asleep. so that he could, what's going on right now is really abstract. I'm sorry, but you have to believe me. This is a crisis. Okay, but maybe we shouldn't rush to judgment. You have been in a coma for some time. Maybe it's best to take a little while to recover and then gather your thoughts. But for now, I don't see much reason to doubt Dirk's good intentions. He gave me this medicine, and we just had a pretty good talk today. I think it helped me clear the air on a few things. And now I feel better, I think. Sad and heartbroken, yes, but free. Oh my god, I am so fucking glad that, Jade and Roxy, snap Kanaya the fuck out of all of Dirk's gaslighting. Free? What are you talking about, Kanaya? What did he say? He's going to take good care of Rose. Probably much better than I'd ever be able to. I'll miss her, but I'm at least thankful for that. Thankful? Kanaya, did Dirk kidnap Rose? No, it's not like that at all. You see, Okay, yes, I know how this must sound. So, where is Rose? Is she with him? Yes, well, I guess they have formed a strong human familial bond, such that it is no longer necessary for Rose to have me as her spouse. And now they will leave this planet together and do important things, I guess, which do not concern us. What? No, I know. It probably sounds, well, I know how it sounds, but please believe me that appearances are misleading here. No, it is exactly as it sounds, and it's fucking awful. This ain't true. You can have strong familial bonds and a spouse at the same time. Fun fact. Love and bonds is not a quantifiable value. There is not only so much of it to go around. Also, I apologize if that clap was too close to the microphone. I just realized it might have been a little close. The appearance that, the dude just kidnapped your fucking wife and pieced out? Yes? You see? Something's wrong. Kanaya, can I just ask, how did you come to feel this way? To be okay with it, I mean. Did Dirk convince you to be fine with this directly, like in a conversation? Or did you just make peace with it on your own? I was running around desperately trying to catch them in the act of their duplicitous behavior, and then I sat down and thought about it, and realized I was being foolish, that it was better to let Rose go if that is what she really wanted. There! That's it! That's what I'm talking about, Kanaya. There's no way you would just let Rose go like that without someone pulling the strings. Dirk has been fucking with you. He's been fucking with all of us. God damn, really? Yes. Kanaya, think about it for a second. Think about how you really feel. About Rose. About all of this. Are you sure you're just fine with Rose leaving just like that? It's fine, Kanaya. Why don't we just say I'm invoking the mercy rule here? Jade is onto me, obviously, but I wouldn't have even let her wake up if there was anything you all could do about it by now. As the shrub resurfaces in her mind, I'll be fading out of here soon anyway. I don't see any reason to keep my dear friends in limbo any longer than they need to be. So forget what I said. All that stuff about you not being good enough for her, it probably wasn't true. It isn't true. It isn't true. It just factually is not true. I mean, what do I know? How worthy you are for another's company is just a matter of the choices you make, right? I'm sure you could figure out how to prove your worth to her if you really tried. For now, the only thing that really matters is to acknowledge it's too late for any of that. Wait, I'm confused. Why didn't I at least demand to see my wife before they departed while I had Dirk on the phone? OMG, you didn't even see her before she left? No, At the time, it didn't feel right to ask, I guess. I was so devastated that I thought that I should just... I don't know what I thought. What was I thinking? Kanaya stares into the distance. The best fucking question anybody ever asked is, why am I so fucking awesome? I believe I've recently provided more than enough material to supply an answer to this question. But Kanaya may have just asked the second best fucking question anybody ever asked. What was she thinking? What are any of us thinking, really? Who's doing the thinking, and who's having the thoughts? The more you study the question, the more it seems all concrete forms of accountability go up in smoke. Her original thoughts were never that important, and the significance of the idea that she was the one authoring them was always a bit overrated. My mission is to someday clear this all up for everyone. Remove the ambiguity, suck the mud out of the water. It'll be a lot better that way, trust me. Have I lost my fucking mind? She's really pissed. Yikes. Couldn't pay me to be in that room right now. Not for all the agency in the world. What has Dirk done to my wife? Whoa, what do you mean there? He did something to her. He has corrupted her in some way. I know Rose. I love Rose. She would never do something like this to me. She wouldn't do it to anyone. Not unless she was under duress in some way. It's Dirk. It's always been Dirk. He is behind this. I'll get him for this. I swear that I shall make him pay dearly for stealing my beloved wife. Jade! She uses both hands to grab Jade by the hospital gown and starts shaking her vigorously. But she's unlikely to get answers from her that way. If anything, she'll cause her to go silent a lot more quickly than she was about to anyway. She's just resting the spirit from her slumber. Tell me everything you know! Why does Dirk have to be stopped? What does that mean? How did you learn all of this? Tell me your secrets, damn it! Please stop shaking me. I'm sorry. Yeah, Kanaya voice. My wife. I know. It warms my heart to hear her say, my wife, but it also makes me so angry because of the context. When I was asleep, I saw things, and was visited in my dreams by the old muse who once helped us, Kelly's ghost double. And there was so much. All these memories from different timelines and such. Sad memories, visions of death and sacrifices, great battle with Lord English. It was all so overwhelming and hard to make sense of. Yes, but what about Dirk? I'm trying to get to that. The thing with Dirk is... It's happening. Roxy notices it right away because she's seen it before, and now Kanaya sees it too. A distant look in her eyes, she trails off. They get cloudy, turn gray, then fill in completely, as if jet-black ink were flooding the vitreous bodies of her eyeballs. Jade isn't here anymore. And with that, I'll be getting my hat and coat, so to speak. No use lingering around here much longer. The shrub is already beginning to drown me out. I can feel it. But this time, I'm ready. Jade? Jade? Aw, no. Not again with this shit. Jade, no! Please snap out of this. Please snap out of this grim condition of sorts. I need you to tell me what you know. She's not gonna tell you shit. Not for a good while, anyway. It's up to the shrub to let go of her now. And I doubt she'll do that before I'm light years away from this planet. She'll keep jamming my signal and won't dare risk stopping until she knows I'm at a safe distance. Kind of a catch-22, right, Kanaya? The whole protecting you from my influence is also blocking you from getting any answers. Not that you'd even know what to do with them. They will know what to do when they are ready. Sure. Then I'll just hop in a spaceship and go on a wild goose chase trying to hunt me down. I know that already. It isn't really rocket science, except for the fact that it literally is. Kanaya, please chill. I've seen this before. There's no breaking her out of this. Except, I guess by doing what Dirk did. Shooting her and waking her up, and... Man, poor Jade. Yes, poor Jade. Poor me. Poor Rose. Poor everyone. Fuck Dirk. Ugh! She picks up She picks up a heart monitor and throws it out a hospital window. Holy shit. Kanaya! It's so heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's like, that's my girl. That's my girl who whipped out her chainsaw and went fucking clown hunting. There she is, and I love her so much. Also, just like, yeah, she picks up a heart monitor and throws it at the hospital window, and Jerk's only reaction is just, holy shit. She picks up the heart monitor and throws it out the hospital window. Oh yeah, I guess I don't need to fucking do this anymore. Don't worry, I'll bow out. Seems like you've got this from here. Go nuts, Skullgirl. The monitor smashes on the pavement below, shattering into 1,000 pieces. Spectators gather round and look up. Roxy is looking out the broken window with an apologetic demeanor, a hand on his mouth. Kanaya drops to the floor and begins weeping again. She feels the sorrow anew for her wife's departure, with a sense of rage and pain unshrouded by the veil of the prince. Neither she nor her friends will have to worry about him anymore, so long as they remain on this planet and under my protection. But a bunch of them won't remain, will they? They won't be able to help themselves. You know that. He has to be stopped. He has to be stopped! Huddled on the floor, she repeats this pledge to herself. Theoretically, he could be stopped before he leaves. If they hurried, they would need to know what to do, where to go, and to have the motivation to do it. But time is short. I could push them to, with a certain degree of intervention, but I will not. My unwillingness to do so is what separates me from him, and what corporeal life needs now is someone presiding over them who is nothing like him at all. That's a nice line. I get why you'd want to dial up the drama, making your grand re-entrance and all. But the fact is, even if they wanted to, even if you brain fried them all to become your own personal Shrubik puppets and sent them on the warpath to come get me, they'd still never get me. They'd still never catch me. You still don't get it yet. I'm already gone. Okay. So. Wow. Epilogue 8. So it is 10 after 12. And we've gone over break time, so it's time for break. Angry face. Angry face indeed, Sneak Cat. Fuck that guy. So. Yeah, we will do break now, because it's a little overtime. And then, chapter 43. It's really looking like we'll finish tonight, so that's pretty exciting. Yeah, how long did it take? I guess it took... like a month and a half of streams. Because if I hadn't had to skip that one weekend, then we would have finished way back. Okay, so. $5 minutes. Sorry, I'm just kind of like, my brain's short-circuiting here. It is definitely break time. 5 minutes on the clock, and we'll be back. Oh, how fitting. Oh, ouch, my heart. The break song is going to be Lilith and Starlight. Of all the fucking songs to play after that chapter, it's the fucking Rosemary song. Oof. Anyway, 5 minutes. Hello. I am back. Okay, so. Epilogue 8. Still don't know what those mean. 43. Later that night, Jade had been moved from the hospital to the Troll Kingdom. She now sits in a wheelchair, remaining in perfect silence with her dark eyes open to maintain my transmission. Roxy and Kanaya roll her into the living room of Dave and Carcat's hive earlier that evening. This is where they all sit now, discussing the day's troubling events. Roxy is using his phone to pursue leads on the whereabouts of the prince. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, yeah. For sure. You too, Jake. Thanks, man. Yeah, we'll let you know what we're gonna do. Later. He hangs up and sighs dramatically. Poor guy. What do you say? A lot of it was hard to make out due to all the sobbing, but yeah, it's like we thought. Dirk borrowed one of his ships in GTFO. But did he say where? Nope. Doubt he told anybody, TBH. In fact, I'd say the odds are even he doesn't quite know where he's going yet. Why do you think that? I don't know. He's just that. IDK, I just know the guy. Also, like, what's even out there? Dude's got a ship and now he's hauling ass randomly about with Rose to, I don't know, prove some sort of point? What about Jane? We aren't calling Jane. Why not? Because I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of her fat fascist mouth. Oh yeah, I forgot that word was there. I was kind of on a roll reading the lines and then I was like, whoops, I forgot to skip over that. I was gonna just like quietly not read that because let's not use fat as a pejorative term, thanks. That's stupid, I'm calling her. I dislike the woman as well, but I will leave no possibility unexhausted in striving to rescue my wife from that madman. She takes Roxy's phone and presses Jane's name in the contact list. She moves to the far side of the room to speak while the others continue conversing. So, phew. Dave makes the noise humans sometimes do by expelling air through his closed fleshy lips, creating an impolite flapping effect. Rose and Dirk, huh? Oh, that's right. This gets very uncomfortable. Yep. Rose and fucking Dirk. Damn. So are they, like... Man, I'm never gonna hear the end of it if I'm the one to ask this question, am I? I've had too many fucking goofy dumbass foot-and-mouth family blunders to be the guy asking this fucking question. And yet here I am, asking it. Oh god, Dave, just don't fucking do it. What are you talking about? You know, are they, like, together? What? You know, like... What this dumbass is asking is if they're doing human intercourse activities. Oh my god? Carcat, please. OMG, Carcat, they're related. Humans don't do that when they're related to each other, okay? Don't talk down to me. I'm not a fucking wiggler. I'm familiar with your concept of human incest. Yeah, okay, not to be that guy, even though I'm totally being that guy. If it never happened, we wouldn't have a word for it. I really don't think... I mean, they wouldn't. There's no way. It makes no sense. For one, Dirk is gay. And isn't Rose gay too? Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows what Rose's deal is exactly. Of all of us who could have ended up eloping to have illicit incestuous relations, they definitely would have been the last two I'd have put money on. And yet, it sure is real fucking weird what they seem to have gone off and done, isn't it? I hate everything about this conversation. Ugh, don't even say that. Just thinking about it makes my skin crawl. You guys are so fucking weird about this. Like, seriously? That's the issue here? The shithead went and stole Kanaya's matesprit, apparently by mystically underhanded means. There's practically no limit to the dimensions we could be getting angry about on this. But here we are instead, doing this pointless thing people always do when it comes to incest. Us people? I know, I'm being a fucking xenophobe. Let's all just agree I'm a big shitty xenophobe about this and move on. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Hey, Kanaya, how's that phone call going? Jane's chief of staff has put me on hold. It seems my solicitation does not register as a priority in this administration. I cannot say I am surprised. Tell her to register my heaving bulge as a priority. I will not tell her that. Oh my god. This is, yeah, the best part of this conversation is this. Tell her to register my heaving bulge as a priority. God damn it, Carcat. But also, like, this whole thing is fucking uncomfortable. Oh, this is like the only conversation where it started like there were a lot of conversations where it started happening and I was like, I don't like where this is going. But this one in particular, I kept going. I was like, I don't like where this is going. Ooh. Okay. Anyway, you guys are all so fucked up about this. That's all I'm saying. This is objectively not the worst thing about this scenario. It's not even a remotely notable factor. Why are we even talking about this? It's so fucking performative. Is there something you're trying to prove by constantly competing to be the most scandalized by your own completely arbitrary social constructs? Yo, dogs, I know we get up to some jank barrel bottom as fuck convos sometimes, but this one, I don't even care anymore. I know you're an alien and all, but in these dire straits, can we maybe not riff on the subject of fucking incest? For what it's worth, this shit really does bug the hell out of me. If I can confirm on behalf of my species that, yeah, the idea kinda sucks according to pretty much literally everybody, could we agree to stop talking about it? I'm pretty much, like, exactly in Roxy's position in this conversation. That is my thoughts. It's just, wow, this is... See, this is what I'm fucking talking about. You grew up one of two humans on your entire planet. Where the fuck do you get any frame of reference for this shit? Admit it. You only pretend to be bothered by this because your human society tells you that your performance of disgust is virtuous. Carcat, shut the fuck up. God, you're so wrong. I hate the fact that they put those horrible words in Carcat's mouth. Ugh. Like, I don't think you're an awful person, I love, but this is a very unique circumstance to... I mean, it's supposed to be it's written as a conversation that is supposed to be found funny, but I'm just so uncomfortable and I super hate it. LMAO, dude, no. Also, excuse me, but can I just fucking ask, since when did you start cosplaying as Dave? Dude, what? Well, right, and then this happened and I was like, Carcat, no! Do you even fucking know anything? You're a ham-brained boner stooge who doesn't know anything, aren't you? I'm very sorry, Roxy, that my ham-brained boner stooge of a boyfriend doesn't know fuck all about Jack Dick. It's okay, he's like, fucking right. I get mistaken for you like, well, it's been happening. I should have known, LMAO. I really thought all the pink I'm wearing would help with that. I don't know, I'll just keep messing with it. No, you look great. Like, super duper duper great. Just perfect. Like, I could not possibly be more proud of your fashion choices. Dave is so supportive and I love it. Christ. Dave, it sounds like you're about to kiss your mother just to prove me wrong. Carcat, stop putting your foot in your mouth. God. It's just so far in there. It should be coming out of your fucking ass right now. A few too many not just South Park word. Ouch. Big ouch. Yeah. Oh my god. That just makes me think of that stupid fucking rumor about a Homestuck South Park episode. If that happens, I don't know what I would do. But thankfully, there's like a 99% chance that it's fake as hell. So, let's just leave it at that. First of all, Roxy's not my mother anymore. Wait, Roxy, did we actually decide on the protocol on what I'm supposed to call you? I literally have no comprehension of the etiquette here. Because you're technically my bio mom, but it's not as if I literally came out of your vagina or anything. And like, well, considering what's going down right now, I'm not too attached to the sanctity of Dirk being my dad. You can formally replace him as my daddy right now if you want. Oh my god. I love that Dave is just like, well, fuck Dirk. You're my new dad. Just like, yes. Yeah, it's so far down, it's coming out of his ass, and then back into his mouth. Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, Karkat in this conversation is just fucking... Karkat, like, at his worst. Doing a Homestuck episode in 2019 is the most South Park thing possible. So you're not dismissing it out of hand. I mean, like... I just really don't want it to happen. I super don't want it to happen. Like, I don't want the South Park crowd coming over and getting all up on Homestuck. Like, we have enough people of that kind of caring about things makes you a loser attitude in, like, the Reddit and 4chan communities that, like, we really don't need any more of them. We need less of them, actually. Like, these people with this kind of caring about things is for losers attitude and, like, you know, thinking that, no, the world is too sensitive these days. Like, no. Get those people the fuck out of here. That is not... Not good attitudes. Not good attitudes. Don't like it. Don't want South Park's really horrible takes on Homestuck characters. Or their relationships. Like, there's a lot of, like, there's a number of canon same gender relationships and queer characters and, the epilogues now. They've done, like, a hell of a lot more talking about gender stuff than Homestuck proper, so there's a lot more gender stuff. And I'm just like... A good few hours of snark at how bad it is. That's, like... I'm just, like, I'm kind of done with that. Like, I spent many years wallowing in Homestuck is bad, actually, and I'm kind of done with, like, sitting around, discuss, like, and it comes up a lot anyway. Like, we talk, like, I feel like we have a lot of good fandom conversations these days about not just the good parts of Homestuck, but the parts that are not so great. And the parts that should be changed, and, like, that kind of thing. Oh, I'm so sorry. I super misinterpreted your comment. How bad the South Park episode is. A few hours of snark at how bad this South Park episode is. I mean, like, yeah, but, like, we'll get that, and that'd be interesting. But at what cost? That's basically my thesis here is, like, okay, so we'll have this thing, but at what cost? Wow, the woke master is on fucking fire, folks. He'll be here all night. Insert Thanos meme. Jeez. Oh, shut the fuck up. What is your problem? Why are you acting like this? Acting like what? Like a huge belligerent dickhead. Are you craving attention? Is that it? Did I get you hooked? What the fuck are you talking about? I see how it is. You got one hit of hot sincerity from your fresh boy Dave, and now you're itching in your pants every second you go without it. If you want to hold my hand or some shit, you can just do it now. Woke boy, I know, right? God, yeah, seeing that kind of, like, terminology in Homestuck, it makes sense, because Homestuck has always adapted to kind of increasing, present terminology whenever it releases pieces of media. Or, like, updates. But it's kind of jarring. It's pretty jarring. Yeah, he's like, you want to hold my hand or so? You want to hold my hand? He's like, I have no desire to do that at all. God. Come on, our relationship doesn't have to be a ludicrous, unending performance of emotional constipation anymore. We got character developed, bitch. Come here. What the fuck are you doing? Get away from me. Ludicrous, unending performance of emotional constipation. That sure is a phrase. No. Christ, you're like a flighty little muskrat. Stop squirming. Get your hands off me, you smelly bag of shit. I hate you. No way. No, you don't. You love me. We're gonna be together forever. Oh my god, shut the fuck up! And I'm gonna profess my undying love to you in the form of a kiss. No! For all the vigor of his oral protests, Karkat does not offer sufficient physical objection to prevent Dave from successfully planting a kiss on his cheek. The gesture causes Karkat to deflate instantly. He goes limp in Dave's arms, eyes wide. Dave is no longer so sure of his ability to freely engage in public displays of affection. Suddenly very self-conscious, he pulls back, leaving a significant foot of distance between him and Karkat once they've collected themselves. Dave awkwardly clears his throat. Karkat wipes off his cheek. Both are looking off in opposite directions. Bottoms. I mean, yeah, basically. Aw, you boys cute. Hey, can you just forget you saw that? Thanks. Thank you. For what? For doing something that turned that steaming dog shit fire of an incest conversation into something that just made me feel very, very happy. If only for a fleeting moment in these dark AF times. Don't mention it. Kanaya returns to the seating area. Oh, whoops. Kanaya returns to the seating area and handed Roxy his phone. If Jane is to be trusted, apparently she didn't even know Dirk was gone. She doesn't know where he might be headed either, or she won't tell us. Well, shit. I'm so fucking surprised. Alright, then what do we do? I don't know. Hey, does anyone know where the hell John is? Oh yeah, good question. Wasn't he on some mission? Whatever happened with that? That was a Rose thing. She was cagey as fuck about it. And now she's gone, so we can't even ask her. So, damn. Every Homestuck Epilogues, they were both bottoms, and every Homestuck below is they were both tops. I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is a very true statement. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong because you're right. He's not answering his phone. Yeah, I've tried too. Oh yeah, I forgot. John would solve our whole problem, wouldn't he? Just zap us all right into Dirk's ship with his retcon powers. That's how that works, right? Maybe? I think he should be here regardless and catch up on the situation. Getting kind of worried about him. Yeah. I ran into Terzi the other day and she hadn't seen him either. Oh shit, Terzi's back? What? Oh yeah, I didn't mention cause... Guess I just thought you knew? I assumed she would have got in touch. Nope. Nobody ever fucking tells us anything. It seems like kind of a gigantic fucking deal that Terzi came back to Earth. Kanaya, did you know about this? Yes, I also assumed you knew. I'm giving her a call to see if she knows anything about all this. And she's not picking up either. What the fuck is even going on anymore? There is a moment of silence. Though no one in the room is conscious of the fact, it serves to honor their departed friend. The heir will not be able to help guide them to the prince. If they ever wish to see John again, be it as a cadaver or otherwise, they will need another means of following the ship. A different guide altogether. By stated principle, I cannot intervene through the same compromising methods of my nemesis, but if I were to fall back to a state so passive as to offer no assistance at all, it would be at odds with my sworn duty as the protector of corporeal life. They will have their guidance, but my instructions will be minimal. So long as they remain in my conduit's presence, they will know the way forward. What the fuck is Jade doing? Huh? That's creepy, right? Tell me I'm not the only one who thinks that's creepy. Yeah, it's a bit spooky. That's how it is when she gets like this. What is she pointing at? Jade has raised her hand and is pointing upward at an angle of about 45 degrees in a seemingly random direction.
but it is far from random.
Oh, I think I know what's up. She's trying to say there's something important over that way. Is that right, Jade? Can you hear me?
Dave walks over and kneels in front of her chair. He looks closely at her. Her face, though still expressionless, strikes him as serious and tense.
Jade, is it John? John's that way, right? You want us to go in that direction to find John. Is that it, Jade? Come on. What is it, girl? Tell me.
Oh, gee, Dave, you're treating her like a dog.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. I guess I fucking suck, but she is a dog, okay? A doggy girl who's trying to tell us something. Just let me do my thing here. I mean, like, it's still condescending to talk to her like she's a dog, because she's still, like, mostly human and has the consciousness of a human. Jade, give me a little yelp if that's the way we should go out. That's the way we should go after him. Just a little woof. If John's in danger, yiff twice, please.
Dave!
Shh. I know, right? If John's in danger, yiff twice. What line is that a reference to? I'm like 99% sure that's a reference to a particular, like, he said something like that before. This is it. Right. He's leaving this whole long diatribe for Jade. And oh no, this is one of the conversations where he uses the F slur. Well, I'm just gonna quietly get that off the screen. Yeah, but just like, you're asleep. Yes, no? ASL, S equals species. Baboon, kangaroo rat. If kangaroo rat, yiff twice, please. Dave is still a fucking furry in denial. Honestly? Yeah.
He leans in closer and studies her face carefully. It hasn't changed.
Maybe it's not John that way. Maybe it's... Jade, is that where Dirk went?
It's barely noticeable, but Dave picks up on it. Her face relaxes slightly.
That's it! That's the way Dirk went, and she wants us to follow. Okay, wow, but what about John? Is John safe?
She doesn't move.
Does he have anything to do with what's going on? What about Terezi? Is John with them? Jade, is John on the ship with Dirk and Rose?
Slowly, she lowers her arm and places her hand back on her lap.
What the fuck did that mean? I think it means I'm right. Don't ask me how I know, but I think I got the answers out of her we need. Dirk and Rose are on a ship heading that way, and for some fucking reason, John's along for the ride. We need to saddle the fuck up, and wherever we go, I think we're gonna need to bring Jade along. Right. Yeah, so that would be... It's never directly stated that Terezi decided to go with them, but that, along with a couple of hints in the afterwards from Candy, is there's a couple of hints that are dropped that can kind of confirm it, and that John being with them is one of those things, because Terezi had John in her pocket.
Karkat springs to his feet and easily resumes his well-practiced posture of leadership.
Kanaya, get Jake English on the phone. Okay, why? Because we need to borrow one of his ships. We're gonna get your fucking wife back. Yes, Karkat. Yes, Karkat.
He nods. Kanaya nods back. Roxy nods too. Dave did not realize they were all supposed to be nodding in determination and solidarity until Karkat nudges him. Then he nods too. They resolve to travel to Jake's mansion immediately and to embark on their new adventures shortly thereafter. They will believe they are all on a quest to retrieve a wife and rescue a friend, but they will discover their true mission is of much greater cosmic significance than they imagined. The seer is firmly in the thrall of the prince and will not easily be pried away. And as regards to the heir, though resuscitation remains a theoretical possibility for those still striving for it, the truth of his role is it has reached a greater sense of narrative finality than any of his allies will bring themselves to admit. His influence over canon has come to an end, as has this particular story. His ultimate sacrifice was made to put the missing keystone in place and avert the supreme dissipation of all that shall be considered to hold truth, relevance, and essentiality. As for me, I will be their guide. I will be there wherever they go, so long as my conduit remains alive, alert, and present. But only as a guide with the lightest possible touch, and only to block the insidious mandates of the prince from within his sphere of influence. The rest of my presence can simply be reduced to a string of words, a recorded stream of ideation with a particular texture and cadence, but aside from that, there is nothing that should be considered remarkable about its source. One speaker can easily be swapped for another, and then another under the right circumstances. Speakers can duel, predominate, overassert, or fall back, as one does into the comforting blanket of space. And until I am needed again, this is exactly what I will do. I will leave all who inhabit this reality with the recorded stream that is colorless, sourceless, and quietly divested of accountability. For if I were to insist upon anything else, could I really be considered worthy of protecting the very cosmos I describe? Farewell.
Postscript is the word I was looking for. So, just as an experiment, because I feel like this will make a lot more sense now, I'm going to read the postscript from Candy before I read the postscript from Meat. Just because they did the thing where they swapped the postscripts, and it was like, I remember the first time I read it, I finished reading it, and I was like, oh, damn. And then I got to the postscript, and I read it, and I was like, suddenly, I understand jack fucking nothing. Like, I thought I had a grip on the plot, but I guess not. But yeah, I think just, while we have the context of Meat fresh on the brain, we'll dig into the postscript from Candy, because it is that continuation. Postscript. Elsewhere, beyond the horizon, a spaceship tears across a starfield at warp speed. Each dot of distant light stretches to become a spear, hurtling in the opposite direction of the craft faster than any photon ever fired from its surface. The ship was brand new when it departed from Earthsea, and it doesn't look a day older now, even though many hundreds of days have passed. It seems to be built to look somewhat like a shark by a designer who wasn't totally sure how many fins the shark had, nor where exactly to stick them on the beast's body. Inside, a hot iron smooths the fabric of an elaborate garment, releasing a gentle hiss of steam. At a glance, it looks like the top of a god-tier costume, but it clearly isn't standard issue. This one is more stylish, more ornate, more anime? Sometimes one finds there simply isn't another word that will do to describe some sick gear. The iron eases the wrinkles out of the icon emblazoned on its chest, a hot pink heart bisected vertically, hollow in one half. A shiny, graceful metal hand puts the iron down, removes the garment from the ironing board, and reaches for the pantaloons. She isn't even sure how he gets these things so wrinkly. Perhaps it's all the time he spends training in the hypergravity chamber, assuming they've got one of those on board. Then again, there are times when he seems so high-strung he could wrinkle a good anime costume sitting perfectly still in an armchair. She drapes the pantaloons over the board, then pauses to reach for the candy bowl nearby. She doesn't actually need to eat anymore. The entire concept of eating has been upended for her. It's not about sustenance, or even necessarily about enjoying certain flavors. It's more about staying connected to a vestigial habit reminding her of the humanity she had been forced to abandon. Not that just any kind of candy would cut it. The sensors of her metal tongue are very particular, weaker than taste buds and arranged differently. These would taste like some combination of battery acid and wasabi to the human tongue. But to her, the flavor is mild, exotic, and certainly worth snacking on to pass the time. Human teeth wouldn't stand a chance of cracking these, but hers make short work of the turning the candy into fine gravel. One of her more reckless shipmates chipped a tooth trying one, despite repeated warnings to stay away from the stuff. So that, I am supposing, would be Tearsy, because that sounds like her. The iron hits a snag on the pantaloons, putting an awkward crease in the ridiculous billowy fabric. She curses and puts the iron down. She decides laundry day is officially over. The guy can just wear a wrinkly pair of pants today for all she cares. It's not like he has an audience, despite his best efforts to behave as if he did all the time. She doesn't really enjoy doing laundry or ironing silly anime ensembles, and she considers herself nobody's maid. It's just that there hasn't been much to do on this ship. It's not like the old days of her long-range interstellar travels, that halcyon period riding a meteor across the abyss for years with an atmosphere of camaraderie and feelings of optimism, a rewardingly transformative period in everyone's young life. She guesses that this is just what things feel like on a long journey when you're older and with a much smaller crew. She turns off the iron, then wanders off down a corridor. It's nothing like the meteor on here. Bright, futuristic. Skynet does build a lovely ship, she has to admit. She turns a corner and her foot kicks something. It's a stray ruby slipper. The other is about 10 feet away, down the hall. No sign of their owner anywhere. She'd sigh, except she doesn't breathe anymore. She doesn't consider herself to be her maid either, but she reaches down to pick up the slippers nonetheless. Oh, Tearsy. She enters a room central to the ship, one that she visits now and then, possibly for sentimental reasons. Or maybe it's just to creep herself out. Situated near the wall is something that looks like a rather elegantly designed iron lung. It's mostly made of glass, with polished silver trim around the sides and base. There's a monitor on the wall. She approaches and places her hand on the glass with a faint metal clink. She used to live in this body. She's dressed in the same clothes she was wearing the day she slipped into the coma. A special tiara replaces her typical hairband, lined with blinking transmitters. The device beams her awareness directly into her current mechanical avatar. She presumes it utilizes the same technology that Jade's grandfather once used to build a dreambot for her, which functions similarly. I'm just going to stop for some water. I know that we're almost at the bottom, but I really need a drink. She knows she'll never be able to inhabit this sleeping body again. She honestly can't decide whether that makes her feel sad or relieved. She ponders the future of her old body. Will it work as planned? She has to believe it will. Is this the only path to achieve permanence for those It is the only path to achieve permanence for these tenuous bodily accommodations. A jarring sound snaps her out of her reverie. It's an alert, beeping urgently from the cockpit. The robot leaves her entombed living body and runs quickly through the winding corridors. She sits down at the helm and examines the monitor. A new planet is within sensor range. She studies the millions of statistics, all pouring in at once. Her pupil-less eyes take them all in simultaneously, her head needing only to move a quarter of an inch from side to side to pan her vision across the data. It's an M-class planet. The right size, right age, right distance from the sun. There is no advanced life yet. It's exactly what they've been looking for all these years. Her heart doesn't beat any faster because its pace is regulated by an internal chip. She consciously accelerates it anyway. It's been a long time since she's had the occasion to feel exhilarated. She's missed the sensation of the old flesh ticker acting of its own accord. The thoughts in her powerful brain race. What will they name the planet? How long will it take for the ship to arrive? Once the new race is established in advanced enough civilization thousands of years from now, who will the lucky kids be? The ones who get the chance to play what will arguably be the most important session in the history of Spurb. She holds her thoughts. They can wait, and there's much to discuss. She taps a button and lowers her head a little closer to a mic on the panel. Dirk? She supplies a courtesy pause, as if waiting for him to reply. He usually doesn't. You're going to want to come see this. Enough time goes by, she begins to wonder if he's asleep. But no. It's just the irritated silence of a man who knows he isn't currently dressed well enough to attend to something important. Are my fucking pantaloons ready yet? Boom. And that is the complete conclusion of the meat plot. It was not very clear at all throughout the actual story, but in the postscript we finally get the reason that Dirk was leaving. And the whole thing with taking Rose with him. He is becoming... He is going to literally be God for this new planet and act as a duck scratch figure to groom it for the next session of Spurb. I'm sitting here nodding. Sometimes I have to be like, people can't see you, right? Which is a dang good thing, because I am absolutely wearing pajamas right now. Yeah. You're valid. Thank you, Sneakat. Oh my god. So that's me. Wow, I thought we'd have at least another weekend out of this, but we zoomed through those last few chapters. They were shorter than expected. Sorry, I am just stretching. It has been not a very mobile day for me, so I'm a little bit stiff. Not wearing pants. Yeah. Clothes like a normie. Yeah, who does that anymore? Oh. Damn. I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck? That's me. So we'll close this tab then. And, wearing clothes at home, cringe. Ugh, yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to wear clothes, like regular clothing more, but like, pajamas are just so fucking comfortable. Like, if I don't have to leave the house, why would I not be comfortable in my own home? So, question, then. Would y'all like to still go through what is technically the correct postscript for meat? Yeah, I guess pajamas are technically still clothes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's do it then. Yeah, we'll leave it here, and then we'll start Candy in 2 months. 1, 2, 3. I might redact my previous statement of not starting Candy before I go to camp, because in 3 weekends of streams, we can get through like a lot of it. Like, it won't just be like reading the first 5 chapters. So yeah, thoughts and feedback on whether or not we should start Candy this weekend, knowing that at the end of the month I have to disappear for a little bit. Postscript. Elsewhere, beyond the horizon, the distant sounds of war travel above the canopy of a forest. The artillery fire fades to a series of muted knocks and thuds as the sound waves across beyond a thinning patch of the forest and arrives in a clearing of grass and shrubbery. Above, the sky is dramatic, colorful, menacing, the way it looks when a storm is coming. The clouds are wild, whipped into a sort of spatial frenzy, as if they know what's imminent is not is no earthly phenomena. Aradia stands in the field, her mouth gaping wide, but not at the sky. We're never going to finish Problem Sleuth, are we? We are. I promise we're going to finish Problem Sleuth. Here's my plan, okay? Here's the game plan. Finish reading Candy, finish reading Problem Sleuth, and then start that next Homestuck reread stream, baby! But yes, I promise we are going to finish reading Problem Sleuth. It will absolutely happen. Yeah, so we've got The Distant Sounds of War from the... Wow, why can I not think of the right term? Anyway, the war between the fascist state and the rebels. Yes, and this would be Lord English's Arrival, The Storm Clouds. Homestuck Reread 2, absolutely. Homestuck Reread number 2, Electric Boogaloo. It's happening. It's real, it's happening. Y'all, if I can time the start of the next Homestuck Reread stream for the 2-year anniversary of this channel, I will I will be very excited about it. But honestly, if it ends up being a little earlier or a little later, that will not be the end of the world. But it would be fucking hilarious if I could get it on the exact same day, or like within the vicinity of that exact day. It's unusual that she isn't grinning, and she slowly corrects this. She smiles brightly at the girl crouching on the ground 10 paces before her. Aradia's never seen anything like what she just saw this girl do. Jade was 16 years old when she showed up, and she doesn't look a day older now, though many hundreds of days have passed. There's a hole piercing the space symbol on her shirt, but no sign of whatever it was that made it. Her legs are covered by the same striped tights as usual, but her feet are shoeless. Her knees are... Right, because those are the shoes that Terezi has. Her knees are pressed into the mud of the field, and her hands braced against the ground to support her hunched figure. She is covered in blood, almost from head to toe. Running out of social juice? Alright. It's all good. We're about to end for the evening anyways. Have a lovely rest of your day, Sneak Cat. Fresh blood and viscera surround her in an uneven ring on the field. It soaks her clothes, coats her skin, still gleaming and wet, running slowly down her limbs and face, dripping from her mouth, glasses, and the tip of her nose. Her hair is matted, savage-looking and filthy. She looks up. Behind the rim of her glasses, her wide eyes are solid black. Her lips are parted, revealing her canine fangs. The meat she is chewing is stubborn, raw, and full of gristle, almost supernaturally tough. But she is a determined beast of prey. She swallows once, hard. The last bit of her meal slides down her throat. The deed is finished. She just fucking consumed the flesh of Lord English entirely. Fuck yeah. She stands up and closes her eyes. An aura of darkness gathers around her. The blood begins to dissolve, as if being absorbed into her skin. She makes 2 fists, plants her feet firmly, and releases an otherworldly howl. A shock wave emanates from her body, knocking Aradia down. It rushes outward, blowing the surrounding trees back as if they're weathering hurricane-force winds. In a moment, calm is restored. She opens her perfectly black eyes again. Aradia staggers back to her feet and brushes herself off. I take it everything went as you hoped. Jade looks down at her hands as if they belong to an alien. She can feel it now. Abilities have been awakened inside her that no being has ever commanded before. She raises her hand and looks up at the sky. Above her, an immense vortex opens. It swirls many miles upward into blackness, and lightning crackles within. Jade does nothing for a while. She seems to simply study the construct she's summoned, this great occult trumpet beckoning her into its abyss. Her face is expressionless. Her glasses flash white as they reflect the lightning that arcs sporadically inside the wormhole. Well, aren't you going in? Wasn't that the idea, or did I not? Jade holds up a hand as if telling her to wait. Aradia closes her mouth, looking embarrassed. Nearby, a red haze gathers in the air. It condenses into concentric rings and spheres of ruby light. The luminous shape of a man fades into the center of this special effect. When the light subsides, Aradia notices the man is made of polished metal. She recognizes the gear symbol on his chest, identical to her own. She also recognizes the sunglasses the robot is wearing. She knows who this is. Dave? Sup? He doesn't look in Aradia's direction. His eyes, glowing bright enough to be visible behind his jades, are fixed on Jade. He looks her up and down. She's still so young. He knew this Jade many years ago, but by this point their paths have diverged in ways that he couldn't begin to describe even if he wanted to. Yeah, he's probably lingering on Jade because he's also thinking about how he just fucking abandoned Candy Jade in the middle of a fucking forest, in the middle of a fucking mission to support the rebels. Alt Kelly predominated over her brother twice. We stan. Absolutely we stan. Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about it in those terms before, but she just predominated over her brother 2 fucking times. That's so badass. So we doing this? Jade says nothing and looks up at the wormhole again. She begins to levitate, gradually picking up speed. Without looking back, she rockets into the vortex, vanishing into the darkness. Davebot turns to Aradia. How about you? Want to come along? I guess so. I'm really not sure what's going on here. To be honest, the plan wasn't discussed much. That's what we're doing now. Discussing the plan. What about your boy, Eye Patches? Oh, Solix is in one of his moods. This was all getting to be a bit much for him. If I go, I'll probably just cut him loose. Good move. Yeah, fuck Solix. She's just gonna ditch him in the candy timeline. His gaze remains fixed on her. She blinks and looks away, unsure what to say next. He's standing perfectly still, presumably waiting for her to say something. She met him, what was it? Once, twice before? She can't remember. But she knows this is a very different Dave. Aside from the metal skin, he seems implacably confident. But then, people go through changes. She's been through more than her share. She cocks an eyebrow, recalling her own stint with a metal body. Hey, Earth to what's-your-face? Oh, it's Aradia. I know. Then why did you, what the... That's just fucking rude, then. So that's a yes, then? What? You're coming. Better decide quick. I doubt that dank fucking hell funnel is gonna stay open for much longer. Yes, I suppose so. That's where all the action is, right? All the action that matters, yeah. Off we go, then. Word. He holds out his hand. She looks around and assumes he means for her to take it, so she does. She didn't know someone could fly this fast. He nearly yanks her arm out of its socket. She considers reminding him that maybe this isn't necessary since she can fly too, but she doesn't want to risk saying any more embarrassing stuff around this outrageously cool dude. Besides, they're through the wormhole before she can even finish the thought. It vanishes the moment they've crossed. The hole leaves behind an absence in the sky so calm that continuing to call it a sky wouldn't seem to do it justice. It's a perfectly neutral expanse in which anything one can imagine might be summoned. And for a while, anything was, but not anymore. Where the hole gaped just moments ago, there now exists an imaginary line. Above this line resides all that matters. Below exists all else. Never again the twain shall meet. Yeah, man. So, I believe the idea here is that the wormhole took them into the meat timeline, and it closing behind them. Above this line resides all that matters, the kind of quote-unquote canon timeline. Below exists all else, the candy timeline that's kind of devolved into a hellhole, and all other timeline. Sorry, I just kind of stopped myself before I should have. Yeah, Homestuck, the twain meet. Like, so that's kind of how I interpreted that sentence. I've been trying really hard to, like, keep up with conversations and, like, see what folks are saying, but not gonna lie, sometimes it's just frustrating, especially if particular folks get, like, they're of the attitude that the epilogues are garbage and nothing can possibly salvage them. And it just, like, completely fucking derails what could have been a very good conversation. So that's really frustrating to see. But yeah. That's, yeah. I find it really interesting that they switched the postscripts like that. I thought that was a really kind of clever choice, interesting choice. Because, like, I just finished, so, like, the first time I finished Meat, I was like, yeah, like, I think I understand what's going on here, damn. And then I fucking, oh my god. And I read the postscript, and I was like, literally, what the fuck? Okay. What did Jade just eat alive? Aradia is there? War in the distance? What the fuck? Why is Dave a robot? What the fuck does that last line mean? Like, there's just a lot happening here, and I was like, I don't understand fucking anything anymore. So, but I understand a lot more now. I understand a lot more about the epilogues now. Whew, okay, so we're only 10 minutes over time. That's good. I thought we might go a little more than that, but that's that. And we're gonna close that tab. Ding. Yeah, thanks for playing. What an appropriate track to finish on here. So that's it for Meat. And I suppose since now I have more weekends than I thought to hop into Candy, that's what we're going to do next weekend. We're going to start Candy next weekend. It is going to suck to kind of have to take that break halfway through, but quite frankly, Candy is just, like, a lot to take in the first place. So, like, I feel like it'll be okay to take a few steps back from it for, like, a month and then come back to it when I get back from working at summer camp. So, thanks so much for hanging out with me for this wild fucking journey. And I hope that you are interested and able to come back and join me for the other wild fucking journey. That is Candy. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some parts that, we're going to maybe, like, skip over and not read fully, because, like, there were definitely parts that were, like, tough to read and that, like, made me angry in Meat, but more so in Candy, there's a number of parts that make me just, like, very uncomfortable, that I might opt to not necessarily read the whole thing out loud, and maybe we can just, like, talk about what happens and then keep going. I'm thinking in particular, of course, about Chapter 14, which is Dirk's suicide, And there's a much later chapter. It's like the whole chapter is a conversation between Vriska and Gamzee. I don't even remember exactly what that conversation consists of. But I do remember that reading it through the first time, like, felt like I was stabbing myself in the eye. So, I might review that one and then make a final decision, but I don't know if I'll read that one in full. Oh, that's right. As well as the chapter where it's Jane and Gamzee are like, they just like casually start fucking in front of Jake, who is holding their baby. Yeah, that whole chapter. Yeah. So there's a number of chapters that might just get a verbal overview of events rather than a full word for word read through, because they make me very uncomfortable. But anyway, that's just a little look into how things are going to go for Candy, which we are going to start next weekend on Friday evening. Let me check. Yep, that is the 7th. That is June 7th. Okay. Oh, that reminds me, next weekend on the 8th, Saturday, June 8th at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time will be the Splatoon 2 World Championships. I'm so excited. But. Before all of that, this Tuesday, January, what the fuck? June 4th, will be the next bonus stream of Dream Daddy. So if you'd like to come hang out and hop into that universe with me, we're just at the beginning of, we're still pretty early in the game. We're about to join the barbecue at Joseph's that happens very early in the game, if you're familiar with Dream Daddy already. We have met all of the eligible bachelors. We're about to hop into a conversation with multiple of them at the same time, which should be interesting. That's where we're at. That's where we're going to start. If you'd like to get caught up before then, both of those streams, there's only been 2 so far, and they're both on YouTube already. So, y'all want to check that shit out? It is real easy to get caught up with this one. We're still pretty early on in it. That's what's going to be continuing on Tuesday. Dream Daddy streams next weekend. We're starting Candy, and that is the stream forecast for the coming week. So, thank you so much for hanging out, and I hope that you have enjoyed going on this spectacular, twisty, turny, angry, sad, funny journey with me. All right, have a wonderful rest of your evening, whatever you may be getting up to. That is a good night from my end. I'm going to go finish tagging up that Friday night stream, so that should be up on YouTube shortly after this. And, yeah, thanks for hanging out, and Homestuck Volume 10 will play us out.